Chapter 10 The Secret of Brave. Cria's bell jingled as Topa threw his arms round her. "Thank you, Jack and Annie," he said.
"How were you able to rescue her from the guards?" his grandfather asked.
We just found her," said Annie, "on the mountain." "Yeah, she must have escaped from the guards," said Jack, "and we brought her home to Topa." "That is wonderful," said Topa's grandmother. "Catch me, Cria," Topa said. The baby llama dashed after him across the grass. As Topa played with Cria in the meadow, his grandmother gave cups of water to Jack and Annie.
"Would you stay to eat with us?" she asked.
"Oh, I forgot, we still have our potatoes," said Jack. He took them out of his bag and handed one to Annie. Jack and Annie ate their cold baked potatoes. Topa ate a potato too. Then he pulled up some weeds for Cria. He fed the baby llama by hand, and she munched hungrily. When everyone had finished their late lunch, they sat still for a moment. Cria and Topa were resting side by side in the grass. The old man started to play his flute again. As the soothing music wafted through the air, Jack grew sleepy. Annie nudged him. "Time to go home," she said. "Oh, right." Jack stood up.
"Thank you for helping us," said Topa's grandmother.
"Goodbye, Jack and Annie. Thank you again," Topa said. "Take good care of Cria," said Jack. "And Cria, you take good care of Topa," said Annie, patting the baby llama's silver fur. Cria fluttered her long eyelashes at Annie and Jack. She looked like she was smiling. Jack and Annie waved and headed back into the cloud forest. "Where's the tree house?" Annie asked. "Follow me," said Jack. "I'm pretty sure I know where it is." They pushed through the tall ferns. They scrambled over rocks and roots. They wove around trees until they came to the rope ladder. "Yay, you found it," said Annie. She and Jack climbed up into the tree house. From a distance came the sound of the flute. "That sweet music makes me miss home," said Annie. "Me too," said Jack. "Go back to Mom," said Annie, imitating Cria's tiny voice. "Go back to Dad," said Jack. Annie picked up their Pennsylvania book and found the picture of the Frog Creek woods. "I wish we could go there," she said, pointing. The wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely still. A warm breeze blew into the treehouse. The air smelled of summer leaves and sunshine. Jack and Annie were wearing their shorts, t-shirts, and sneakers again. Jack's woven bag had become his backpack. "Home," said Annie, "for the picnic." Jack reached into his backpack and pulled out Travel Guide, the Andes Mountains of Peru. He put the book on the floor. He took out Morgan's rhyme and looked at it. "Uh-oh," he said. "What?" said Annie. "There's something in the rhyme we didn't do," said Jack. "What?" said Annie. "When did we find the secret of brave?" said Jack. "Don't worry, we did that," said Annie. "Let's go." She began climbing down the ladder. "Hold on," said Jack. He placed Morgan's rhyme on the floor of the treehouse. Then he pulled on his backpack. He followed Annie down the ladder, and they started through the Frog Creek woods. "When did we find the secret of brave?" Jack asked again. "Well, at first you were afraid to cross the rope bridge," said Annie. "No, I wasn't," said Jack. "Yes, you were," said Annie, "and you were afraid to enter the secret city, and you were afraid to walk down the old trail." "Okay, so what's your point?" Jack said, slightly hurt. "That I'm not brave? I already know that." "No, that you are brave, really brave," said Annie. "You did those things even though you were afraid. I was afraid too, but to us, saving Cria and bringing her home to Topa was more important than our fears. So we crossed the bridge. We entered the city, and we walked Cria down the mountain trail." "So we were brave after all?" said Jack. "Yes. People can't be brave unless they're first afraid," said Annie. "Being afraid and being brave totally go together." Said Jack. "That's the secret of brave," said Annie. "Oh, okay," said Jack. He took a deep breath. "Hey, we'd better run. We're going on a picnic," said Annie. "Ready?" "Ready for anything," said Jack. Then he and Annie took off running through the Frog Creek woods, heading for home. The end.